We've switched camps to somewhere that just kind of suits our needs a little bit better. It's called Somerset Campground. It's about 80 minutes away. We will leave Friday at 4:30 from the church. We will all take vans out there together. We will do one service that night before they go to bed. Games afterwards, and they will probably stay up till something like 3, 4 in the morning playing in the gym and doing a bunch of other activities. They'll wake them up at 8 o'clock anyway still, drink some Starbucks, move on, roll through the second session that morning, and another session that night, and we're typically leaving by about 9 and here by 11. It's a 2-day trip, and so you might think, like, why does a 2-day trip matter? I don't know, but it does. Like, I don't know how God does the insane things that he does in this span of like 36 hours, but it is amazing the way that he impacts students in that time. If your students are nervous about being around people from their crew, or if they don't have a lot of close friends, this is the opportunity for them. It's very low risk. Anybody can do something for 36 hours. It's not that bad. If the worst should happen, they're 90 minutes away, and you can come get them, or we can bring them back. But this is a time that we really believe in for your students. This year, the speaker is my dad. I'm going to only justify that, but this is not nepotism. He's spoken at conferences like this for a long time. Has a really good track record of just being a very relatable speaker for them. The more exciting part is we are actually bringing in guest worship leaders, Pastor Don's kids. This is nepotism, that's in my phrase. Abby X-Myers, now Vaughn, and her husband, Carson, have agreed to come in and worship for us. Pumped about that. It's going to be great. Moving on way too quick. Snow Blast. This is our new campground. I should talk about this. So this year, instead of sleeping in cabins, we have 2 dorms that you can see in that picture right there. They are beautiful. They laid them out right on the side of a lake. You guys can't see, you can do it or your kids are in some of the picture, then know this, they're cute. 2 dorms. How these dorms are laid out, they have a giant common area in the middle that we will use for meals, set up with tables and couches. Then on the outside, they have 8 different rooms. We have 2 of those, so we'll have one for the girls, one for the guys, and each crew will have their own 2 rooms set up with leaders in each of them. Okay, that's sleeping arrangements. Bigger one, still last week done before, it's a little more common, middle school camp. This came about last year. In the past, there's been some discrepancies about this. Let me set my record straight once and for all. We have never done middle school camp at Kirby Church. It's never actually happened. We have brought middle schoolers to camp where they were expected to be leaders or kitchen workers, which was gross, not super great. This is a camp entirely for them. It is, every aspect of it is geared towards their personalities. They hold it at Cedarville University, which is actually my little brother's school. We partner with a group called CIY. They run camps all over the country. They do camps all year long. Last year, we were playing a game where essentially I got to dress up as a rat and play flag football, capture the flag with them. And I was asking the guys, I'm like, dude, how do you guys come up with a game like this? This is amazing. It was so intricate. It was 2 hours worth of fun. And they're like, dude, we spent all year coming up with 2 games. And I'm like, that's beautiful. Let's do it. Let's have you spend all year playing 2 games, and we'll just come up and show up and play with them. So at Cedarville, we join with, I think it's 30 other churches that are here. They have amazing speakers, amazing worship come in. And so think about what that would do for your middle schoolers' faith. It's an interesting thing. Beyond Snow Blast is a little more intimate, but just be surrounded by 800 of their peers for a week in nothing but dedicated time of focused worship, time each day in scripture. It's an awesome opportunity, but then beyond that, it is just crazy fun. So we stay for this in Cedarville's dorm rooms. The picture on there is of a nicer building that is newer that the girls get to stay in. The guys stay in way more what you would think of as a traditional college dorm. It is cinder blocks and bunk beds, but they love it. It's better than teepees. Has air conditioning, which was awesome because last year, the weeks we were at camp, if you remember, the middle of June, it was hot. It was 95 every day, and we were cooking. But we barely spent any time in those rooms. We're just there really to sleep. We do 2 sessions a day services. And then the rest of the day, we were doing stuff like a giant rock wall. We sat at Gaga Ball for a little while. And for some reason, they got oddly competitive this year at Cornhole. Like to the point where they were ranking themselves against each other. We actually kind of had to stop it. It got a little too intense. 4 days of crazy fun. That is from June 15th to 18th. It costs $115. I'll get to the cost for camp in just a second. All the summer costs. Next one, high school camp. Same organization, significantly bigger. Middle school camp sits with around 800 people as their max capacity. High school camp is at Bowling Green University. Their max capacity is 3,000. Last year, we had about 2,200 at the camp that we were at. This year, they're expecting it to be maxed out. So, it's nuts, but it is so cool. Like, they turned the arena of Bowling Green University that normally used for basketball and volleyball into a worship center for 5 straight days of nothing but like worship and intense time with God. Fantastic speakers. Your kids respect me as a speaker, and I'm appreciative of that. These guys are amazing. Way better. Insanely better than me. But we still get the points of our time with our coalition leaders and our church leaders that go with them afterwards to process the message, talk it all out, and then spend that extra bunch of time with them. So this was an awesome experience for our students last year. For both camps, we eat in their cafeterias, so the food is significantly better than most camp food. And then again, we just do a ton of fun stuff, volleyball at both camps. We went to Bass Pro one day because we thought it would be fun. And it was just, it was a really fun time. Same thing at Bowling Green as is with Cedarville. We stay in 2 different buildings of their dorms. We have our own hallways that we kind of go and manage with a few of our leaders, and then your kids in dorm rooms with another one of their friends. High school camp is June 21st to 25th, and the cost of it is $450. Last big event, then I'll say a few things, let you guys get some questions in, is our summer mission trip. This year, we just announced on Wednesday night, is going to be to Chicago. The mission trip is very different from the first 3. The reason is this. When we're doing in camp, we're expecting your child to get something just because they're there. Mission trip, we're expecting your child to give something. And because of that, what we believe is that in serving others, you will receive something from the Lord on your own. You will actually learn more about yourself in giving than you do by receiving. But because of that, these are more intense. If you want to go to camp, we will make sure you go to camp. Mission trip, however, we do an application process. This is somewhat because we have a limited amount of spots, and somewhat because this is like, we treat this as a very intense process. Last year, we were in Nashville. It was about 100 degrees every day, and we were outside doing work for every last minute of that. We did not really have anyone like that was losing it over the heat or complaining, because we do training before then to make sure that that's just not the way that our team is going to be set. Josh is smiling at me right now because he set this culture. I just adopted it. So what we will do is this mission trip is from August 1st to 8th. We are partnering with a church that we have partnered with for a very long time called Northwest Community Church. Pastor Dave there has been there for almost 20 years and is a good friend of Chris and Lindsay Fowler. Back in the day, when I was a middle schooler, this trip used to be our middle school trip. This year, now, I have no idea how Chris and Lindsay did that. That sounds insane. So, we're going to take high schoolers with a few middle schoolers mixed in. We will do work most days, all except one, from about 8 in the morning until about 5 o'clock at night. The way that mission trips roll with me is that we will work really hard during the day. We will take a little break, and then we'll have a lot of fun at night. So we will go out to eat most nights. We'll go explore some part of the city of Chicago. There's so much fun stuff to do there, and we'll be in the middle of summertime, so I'm really excited for the different things we're going to do. This is an absolutely fantastic team bonding time. Typically you do see that day 1, day 2, they have their friend groups, but they're not really sure about everybody else. Typically by about the 3rd day, we're very careful about mixing them up into different work groups. They create new friendships. There's can I pick on them too? Yeah. Yeah, Chloe and Alexa went on one of our trips a few years ago. Before they went, they were kind friends. When they came back, now they sit next to each other literally all the time. I can't separate them. That's just kind of the way these trips go. When you are out there with other people serving in that way, it really does create some bonds between them that last a really long time with that shared experience. One thing that I want to point out that's at the bottom of that Chicago mission trip, we were staying in a motel. Last year we stayed in church. We did things a little bit differently. It didn't work out super great for us. We're going back to my old life. We are staying in a motel that looks like this. Please do not be turned off by the fact that it is a motel. I had Pastor Dave, before we booked it or even looked at it, I had Pastor Dave go there, check things out, and he kind of just clears yeah, dude, you're in a bougie part of town. The neighborhood's nice. You're right by the airport. Everything is good and above board. The reason I would not normally pick a motel, I like to stay in a hotel. It's Chicago in the middle of August, and so if we did a hotel, the cost of the trip would probably be somewhere up near $700. So to keep that down, we're staying in a motel. Still, most of our rooms with middle schoolers will have 2 middle schoolers and a leader. Most of the other rooms will have 3 high schoolers, all in each of those rooms. Yet again, we're there very little. We're there at night to shower and get ready for dinner, and then we're there to sleep. That's about it. So that is the 4 major events, and I flew through all of them. I did not offer a lot of details because I don't know the questions that you guys have. Tried to answer them as best I can. If you have questions, now is the time to ask them. But first, let's talk about this. I know that the cost of these is high. The reality for, I'll actually say Snow Blast, I worked really hard to get the cost down this year. Got it down a little bit. Middle school camp, high school camp, the cost is high because it is a very high level of production and activity and what we're doing. To rent out a college campus is not cheap, no matter if it's 800 students or 50. So to have a good camp that I want your kids to have nothing but positive experiences, we pay a little bit more for that. Mission trip, same thing. We're paying for a motel, we're paying for all their food and different ministry expenses that we have. And so it is going to come at a cost. With that, I know that a lot of you have multiple kids and you want to do multiple of these events. I have a scholarship application that I forgot to print before this, but I'll print it right after. And all I need you to do for that is to fill it out with your student's name, some of the reasoning of why you think your kid needs to be at this. And we have a fund set back aside for scholarships for things like this. It's very intentionally there because there are people in the church that they want to pay for people to do this. We don't do group fundraising because honestly, it's too much on my schedule and I don't we tried it one time and it pushed us to the absolute limit, and I couldn't do it. I will give you ways and methods to do individual fundraising. And there are students that have not paid for camp or a mission trip in 3 years with me because they've committed to fundraising for themselves. There are people that want to have your kids, help your kids have these experiences. At the bottom, VBS and canoe trip dates are there just to help out as you plan out your schedule. So, with all of that said, what questions do you guys have about Snow Blast first? Give me Snow Blast first. I'll let you go ahead.
Dates.
Dates.
Is it the 20th and 21st?
It's the 19th and the 20th.
It's the 20th and 21st.
Did I write them down?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it was on there. The
You're okay.
The Friday test.
Yes, it's the 20th and the 21st. I'm sorry. That's my bad. To register for Snow Blast, there's a little blue card on the back table. Scan it, register. And a little bit left. Drop dead dates for registration for any of these. Drop dead dates for registration for any of these are tricky. Okay, so I'm gonna go one by one. Snow Blast, all the way up to the week before. Because we run that, we own it, and we've got a good amount of space. With those 2 lodges that we talked about, we can take 100 girls and 100 guys. So we won't hit that. As long as you register before that week before, that's when the cutoff is. Middle school and high school camp is significantly more complicated. Let me explain this. They have a set number of spots. I buy the spots from them at $50 a spot. And so, if I buy too many, we end up cutting our budget really hard. This year, we filled up all the spots that I bought. and I asked them, requested for like 2 weeks to get more spots. And so right now we have more open middle school spots and more open high school spots. I think it's 5 spots for middle school and maybe 4 spots for high school that we still have open. If there are more people that want to go, I can make more requests, and they've told me that like probably for the next week or 2, we can maybe add a few more spots if you guys registered quickly. But like once the camp is full, then we go on the wait list and it's out of my hands. It's a little
On top of that, when you register for summer camp, you're not paying that right away. It's just you're starting a spot for your kid. So
yes.
then Ben knows how many kids are going. So
Yes.
you don't have the 450 right now, just
Yes. Yes. We do not need to pay for it all right now, but we do need to get you on the registration quick.
I have a question. My son will be in 9th grade next year, so would he be high school?
He's in 9th grade next year, so he's in 8th grade this year, so he's in Peyton's crew. He will go to middle school camp.
Okay.
Middle school camp. We do it just a little bit off because they don't actually check our ages or things like that. So we skew it a little bit of a way so that they can stay with their crew and with the leaders of their
That'd be
group
better.
for a little bit in both directions. Does that make sense? The deadline for Chicago, I don't actually remember. What's it say right there? February 26th is what I decided. February 26th is the deadline for applications. I will have the team selected and will notify you by the email and phone number that you put in the registration by a week after that. We'll sit down and select out the team.
Can I jump to the mission trip?
Nope.
I know you're
Not
jumping
yet.
on.
Go snow blast first. Snow blast question is first. I'm too ADD for you guys. No snow blast questions? If you have one, I'll go after, I promise. Middle school camp questions. That could also be for high school camp. I could cover both of them. Ask them.
Do we have waivers for them to sign? Because I will be squirreling.
Shut up.
Sorry.
Go, why are you here? Yeah. What's up?
So from middle school camp,
Yes.
yeah, mostly. Are there any? Should we make sure they have some extra money on hand?
So here's the way we did this last year. The answer is no. We take, so just like to be completely transparent, what I put down is the cost of your child at camp. We take a hit on our budget, like it's essentially become a very large section of our budget for transportation, and the meals down there in the back, and then some snacks in the middle. Yet still, I will warn you, parents of middle schoolers, you know this. If you put $20 in your kid's hands, promise they'll find somewhere to spend it. They do have like camp shirts and stuff there that like they love to buy. So if you give them money, they'll spend it on that. Or some of them, there was one of them. This is what happens. I learned an important lesson last year at camp. I waited by the car at the gas station and did not go in with them. Our other leader was in there with them. I was out there with them. A boy walked in with $20. He walked out with a bag of snacks, and that was like all his money for middle school camp. It wasn't any of your kids in here, so I can say that. It'd be okay. So yes, but be careful with that. I'll leave that to your own parental discretion. Any other questions for middle school camp? Yes.
What adults are going? Are all crew leaders going?
Not all of them. So, middle school camp is me, the Gibsons, Jeff and Heather are going, Maddie is going, and then Ethan is me. We're not sure. High school camp right now, what I have confirmed is me and Renee, and then Peyton and Carmen are going to go there with us too. I'm trying to get 2 more leaders for high school camp. I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Yet again, every leader we take, we don't make them pay for themselves. We pay for them, so it's another pretty big hit to our budget. We try to stay as efficient as possible. Can I answer that? Yeah.
I was told you might be opening to incoming 6th graders. Is that going to happen or no?
So if we do not fill all of the spots that we have, I will open it up to 6th graders. I'm not sure. I think if I had my guess, we're gonna run out of spot before it becomes an option. but that will go out in the parent email if it does happen. Any other questions related to middle school camp? Okay, high school camp.
If they're in ninth grade and they wanna go to the high school, can they, or they can't?
If they've finished,
They finished eight, they're going into the.
no, it would just be that would be the way it is. I could maybe make an exception that you're talking about later if there was like we couldn't make the dates work for one of them and they were on that bubble. I'll maybe think about it. But I would rather they go to the camp for that with their. Any other high school camp questions? Okay, mission trip. Mission trip questions.
How many spots do you have on Mission Trip?
19. It depends on
Students.
Yes, 19 students. I don't know what leaders are going with me to Chicago yet. That's just we only got the dates set a week ago. We have a bunch of different circumstances, whatever. I'll tell you about it later if you really want to know. I don't know what leaders are going. We will have 4 leaders and me. That would be, and so like with that, we have that many van spots set between our 2 vans. And that's how the mission trip team ends up working.
And then you said high schoolers and some middle schoolers.
Yes.
Is there
So
allocation for that, or is it just
Here-
high schoolers if there's leftover spots then middle schoolers?
we give high schoolers priority because they obviously just have less opportunities. We're not going to stop doing mission trips. Like there will still be some for middle schoolers once they make it to high school. With that said, this year I will graduate probably half of this missions team like off to college. With that, next year, I'm just honest, like I'm telling you, this is the way I think about things. I'm somewhat like toasting myself if we take 15 seniors and I have 6 kids next year who have actually been on the trip before. So with that, I'll be leaving the door open for us to take some middle schoolers so that they can learn from these seniors a little bit of what that trip culture is like. And then take it, carry it into the next couple of years of trips. Does that make sense?
And then, sorry, I'm monopolizing.
No, you're good.
Can you talk a little bit about the like what is your process like for the select?
Process for selection is largely the application. So the application covers, let me pull it up just so I can give you the exact questions that I ask. If your student is filling out the application, let them know that it matters more than they think it does. Students tend to think that like I'm just asking these questions for no apparent reason, but I have a reasoning behind it. The first thing that we ask is about how often they're at Wednesday night church and Sunday morning church. It's not because we're being legalistic about it, but this is one of our more exclusive experiences, and so we want it to be for the students that are invested in our ministry year in and year out. Part of it builds that culture. Second thing that we ask, that's a bigger one, is tell the story of their personal salvation, how they accepted Jesus as their Savior. This is just to like get us an level of their spiritual maturity, where they're at in that process. Listing serving opportunities they've had through the year shows us some strengths. The second thing, what are 3 gifts or strengths that you have that could assist the team? This is the important part of this question. I'm not actually asking about their strengths. If they say that like, you know, they're compassionate, that doesn't give a higher level in our selection. I'm really looking more for their self-awareness and just if they can kind of like tell where they can serve best, what's going to fit their personality best. That's something that on most of the time middle schoolers don't really get, and we kind of understand the more that we're around other people into high school. After that, the more important one is weaknesses that you have. Huge test. One of the most important questions probably. I will say it's very regular and often that we have kids write none. Be shocked by it. Just write none. At that point, really big strike against you. We're looking for that self-awareness that understands how to work as a part of a team. These are tough. Like I'm telling you guys, these mission trips are not easy. To be around people, to be in like for this one we'll be vans with people, for something like 4 hours. We'll be regularly in and out and around and living with these people for a week. Like, you have to know yourself well enough to know how you can interact with others well. Where's my last one? Last one. This is the one I added this year of why do you feel like you need to be a part of this team? Some of them don't have a good answer for that. The reality is, at that point, you're going to go to the bottom of my list. I want you to know why you think this is going to be good for you, what you expect to get out of it, because you will not get more out of it than what you expect to get out of it. That's just a reality that we kind of set up in the first couple of meetings. If you expect this to be a vacation, it will be. If you expect to find God in service, understand your gifts better, you'll find that. That will mean like you will not measure up the level of those expectations. So after we have those, we look through them. Look, somebody's already filled them out. We read through them, assess it based on what we see kind of as leaders. People who speak up in crews are looking after other people in crews, older students who help out younger students. Those are all things that we just kind of try to keep a general eye on to find the best fit for these teams. That's some of our process. This year, because we have the application, I set the deadline a little bit earlier and gave myself a week after. We will probably send it around to some of the leaders that are going to be on the team. And the crew leaders always, like, when I kind of give the final look, I send the application to the crew leaders, and they give me a little bit of a better picture of, all right, like, I see this would be good. I don't see this, not as good. Does that make sense? See the process?
It's only 13 spots.
There's only 19 spots. Yes.
What do you know what the objective is and the task at hand?
I know half of it, and then the other half, I have a call next week with the pastors where we're going to figure out some stuff. They have a homeless shelter that they partnered with that's right down the street, like 4 miles from where the church is that they partner with. We're going to spend a day there. We're going to do breakfast with them. It's honestly a lot like Christ Net. They do breakfast, then they leave for the day. We're going to clean it all out while they're gone. Then they come back and get dinner ready, and then they'll come back for dinner. That will be one of our days. Another one of our days is they have a school that holds a special needs program during summer days for the first 3 days of the week. So Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, we will be there interacting with them, helping them, doing whatever they need. That will honestly be one of the bigger things kind of in the back of our head during the selection process, because that's not an easy environment to be in. But that's all I have. I don't know the other 3 or 4 ministry days. Me and the pastor are talking about that out there. So.
Special results or special
Was this application in the email?
No, this hasn't been emailed yet. It's just that pamphlet right there. We'll go out the email this week. Go ahead.
And we do like coaching sessions and email them like
Yeah, we will do, I think when I worked it out, we will do 4. I learned, like, last year I did too many, and by the end they were struggling with a little bit more. We're going to cram everything into 4 different team building times that will be after services on Sundays. Those are expectations. Like, we need you to be at all of those. Like, maybe miss one if you have to. Don't miss them. Those are things where, like, we're learning skills for the trip specifically, and that they're growing up, like, as a team before they get in the vans. If we don't do those, when we get in those vans, it's all over, because air conditioning half works. So, it's gonna be fixed.
Is this the same, like the grade level in your eyes, is it the same as it is in camp? So if they're going into 9th grade, are they considered high school for this?
Probably not. We still want to consider them as a middle schooler. I like to work off of what grade they finish. And so, like, it's not a hard and fast science that every one of the high schoolers that applies will go. And then it's not hard and fast that every middle schooler that applies will get turned down.